Ask the Doctor with Michael Lange begins in 30 seconds.
When it comes to your health, are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 877-969-8600. That's 877-969-8600. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. Once again, I'm your host as usual for over 30 years now. I'm Dr. Michael Lange. I'm a board-certified optometric physician as well as a certified nutritional specialist, founded Lange Eye Care and Associates March 15th of 1993. The Lange Eye Institute, we opened in 2005, started Fortifeye Vitamin Company, about 20 years ago. Anyway, this show is dedicated to you, the listener and the viewer. So no matter how simple or complicated your questions are, we will try to answer them to the best of our ability. We're coast to coast, all over the great nation, also live video streaming all over the world. So depending on where you are, what time zone is good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Phone lines are open. It's 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. You can learn more about what I'm into at drmichaellange.com and more about what the Fortifeye Vitamin team is into. And you can buy your vitamins or supplements we talk about at fortifeye.com. That's Fortifeye, Fortifeye.com. Also, I always want to recommend going to the bundle section. The bundle section has some amazing deals, and we're going to expand on that with Dr. Hall in just a minute. So once again, Fortifeye.com. Also, I hail from along with Dr. Somerton, Dr. Caputi, and of course, Dr. Richard Hall. He's our nutrition guru that does free nutritional consultations at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages. That's right, free. And today I will be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center in Clearwater, right on McMullen Booth Road, from 1 to 3 today at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center. Remember, in Ocala, you can go to the Lange Nutrition Center right across the street from the Paddock Mall, large 2-story building. That's where they have Reboot, the anti-aging wellness center upstairs. And we have Dr. John Poser, plastic surgeon upstairs. We have an acupuncturist coming in, Michael Moore, Here More Medical is upstairs. And Dr. Patrick Watson, neuropsychologist, an amazing doctor, is upstairs there in Lange. I call the Lange building, but it's across the street from the Paddock Mall, right there on State Road 200 in Ocala. It's where the Lange Nutrition Center is. You can go and see Mandy and Mary for all of your vitamin needs. All right, we got a big day today. We're going to talk briefly in a minute about nutritional intervention for macular degeneration. God made a pretty good body as long as we give it the right fuel, but a lot of you guys and gals just aren't giving it the right fuel. So we're going to start off with that in a minute. But first off, my partner in crime here, Dr. Richard Hall, who's an icon in the sports nutrition world, and he's one of the assets we have at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages. Doc Hall, good morning.
Good morning, my good friend and colleague. It's good to hear you this morning. Thanks for everyone for tuning in to Ask the Doctor this morning. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're going to share some of your morning with us. Dr. Lange and I had a very busy week this week. No complaints, though. on many areas. We did. We had heavy patient load this week, just back to back, and plus we were busy all week with rolling out new products for you. We're going to announce some of those things today too, and so we had a good week. Usually, Dr. Lange and I have lunch together. Then about 3 o'clock every day, we mix up our protein shake. We put the superfoods in there and our protein, and sometimes we put a little fit in there too, just for that extra boost. And we discuss any new research or anything's going on in the afternoon, but not this week. On 2 days, the best we could manage, really, and this is truth, was just a wave down the long hallway. We just acknowledged each other a couple of times, and that was about all we could do. But honestly, we get asked all the time, oh, you two guys are workaholics, and we're not. We just love what we do, and we appreciate all of the patients, all of our customers and listeners out there, and it's good. It's a good world. It's a good world for us. And we have a big show today. I don't know if we can pack it all in, but we're going to try. We have some specials, as Dr. Lange was telling you about, that we're going to announce, and also talk a little bit about our new products and the rollouts that we're going to do with that. And of course, we need you, the listener, to call in. We want your questions, anything on eyes and vision and fitness and nutrition, and call in. We'll help you. And if we don't know the answer, we'll find the answer. We're known for that. We don't say we know everything, but we know people that do, and we'll get you the answers. So back to you, Dr. Lange.
Thank you, Doc Hall. And a lot of you were watching this live video, and I've got a prototype in my hand of the new Fortifeye Fit Pro. And this is a new flavor called salted caramel. And I got to tell you, it's delicious. Everybody that's tried it loves it. I put it in my mom's coffee in the morning now, and she goes crazy. So it's called Fortifeye Fit Pro. It's not available yet. It's still a prototype. We've been working on the flavors. We have some amazing flavors. It's an amazing product. We're going to expand on why we're enhancing our current Fortifeye Fit and going to Fortifeye Fit Pro in just a little bit. We're getting ready to take the next call in just 1 second. Everybody knows who's on hold, I'm sure. But I just want to briefly say that macular degeneration, in my opinion, is a nutritionally responsive disease. I've been in this business a long time. I see a lot of patients. The Lange Eye Institute is not only the dry eye capital of the country, it's the macular degeneration capital of the country. So we see a lot of patients with glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eye, and oodles of other potential issues. So in my opinion, nutritionally responsive disease is definitely macular degeneration. It's not a nutritionally curable disease and nutritionally responsive. And that means when you eat the right foods, and here's the big question, are you eating the right foods? But here's an example, eating eggs. There's a study that shows that eating 4 eggs a week is beneficial to macular degeneration. So don't be afraid of the cholesterol in eggs. A good free-range, organically raised egg is actually good for you. 4 a week if you have macular degeneration and want to do more, that's fine. Blueberries. People that eat more blueberries are less likely to have advancing macular degeneration. Wild-caught salmon, especially wild Alaskan salmon, very high in omega-3, important for macula. Very good source of protein and very high in astaxanthin, the most potent carotenoid known to man. That's what gives us his red color. So eating fish roe, believe it or not, fish eggs are very high in DHA that may be beneficial for macular degeneration as well. So if you're not eating a lot of good fish like salmon, anchovies, mackerel, herring, and sardines, then you may want to take a good omega-3 like Fortifeye Super Omega or Fortifeye Super Omega-3 Max. Remember, I always tell you, when you're looking at omega-3s, make sure it's a TG form, triglyceride form, or RTG form, re-esterified triglyceride form. If it doesn't say TG or RTG on it, it's an ethyl ester molecule. It's got ethanol attached to the backbone, and chances are it's made in China as well. So beware of that. Eating more kale and spinach, gently cooked or sauteed, very high in lutein. Orange bell peppers, very high in zeaxanthin. Goji berries, very high in zeaxanthin. And then if you got to drink booze, a biodynamic organic winery, Pinot Noir has the highest amount of resveratrol. Resveratrol has potential anti-aging attributes and may be beneficial to the retina as well. And there's a whole lot of theories behind that. Also, green tea is very good. And then, of course, get a good night's sleep, hydrate. I would recommend weight management, and that's something we're big at the Lange Eye Institute. Doc Hall is world class at helping you lose weight, believe it or not, for free. And here's the kicker. Don't eat carrots and don't eat beta carotene filled sweet potatoes. That's right. No carrots, no sweet potatoes if you have macular degeneration, because the beta carotene will block the absorption of the beneficial carotenoids called lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin. So that was a quick little nutritional guidance for all of you macular degeneration patients and those of you that may have a family history of macular degeneration. Also, eat a diet consistent with the Lange Survival Diet. Google that, Lange Survival Diet. With that, we're going to the phones. We're getting loaded up. Let's go to Bob. He's been waiting for about a half an hour. Good morning, Bob. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, doctors. It's a pleasure to talk to you again on a Saturday morning. Social things first. How did your time go at the golf course or the driving range?
Well, it was actually fun. We went to that place called Top Flight right out there in St. Pete. And that was my lovely bride on her birthday, Tammy, as well as Mackenzie and Miss Nita, my mother-in-law. Betty didn't want to go play golf, so my mom didn't. And we had a lot of fun. That was last Saturday night or Sunday night. And it was so much fun. Guess where we went last night? We went back. Since I'm not in the race car right now, due to lots of reasons, one reason being so hot and not traveling racing cars for a bit here, you got to fill the time, right? So hitting the golf ball isn't a bad idea. It's actually kind of fun. It's a little bit of stress release when you whack that thing and you hit the net. That's about, I don't know, 300 yards away. It feels good. But oftentimes you hit it and it goes to the right or the left or it just stumbles right in front of you. So, you know, I still got a lot of practice to become a halfway decent golfer.
Very therapeutic chasing that little white ball. Secondly, upcoming, my calendar tells me you have an anniversary on the horizon.
Oh, my God. That's right. August 8th. Woo-hoo.
Yes, sir.
Good thing you reminded me of that. You know, you're amazing, Bob, to remind me of wife's birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Thanksgiving. What would I do without you, Bob?
I don't know. Let's not try to find out. I have probably just a nuisance question here. I know a young man between 18 and 19 who on occasion has nosebleeds. I mean, no impact, nothing, just sitting, then his nose will start to bleed. Is that a sign of high blood pressure? Question mark.
And there's a lot of different things that can cause nosebleed. I mean, certainly if you have high blood pressure, you're going to bleed from just about every other opening in your body. And you could definitely have nosebleeds if you have high blood pressure. You know, if your blood is too thin, he needs to see his primary care physician, have some blood work done to check, you know, his bloods to make sure it's clotting okay. All right. If he's on any blood thinners, all right, aspirin, you know, Aleve, Advil, you know, drinking a lot of booze. A lot of young people drink a lot of booze. And when I used to have a practice in the French Quarter in New Orleans, right out of school, you know, I took care of all the winos from Camp Street. And they would come in with massive subconjunctival hemorrhages and retinal bleeds because they drink, you know, booze all night long and then they have a hangover in the morning. So they eat a lot of aspirin. So that's kind of a double whammy, aspirin and alcohol, thinning the blood too much. And then you're out there straining and picking up something heavy or doing anything and you can bleed. So he needs to talk with his primary care physician and find out whether or not he's drinking a lot of alcohol or taking a lot of potential drugs, the things like ginkgo biloba, too much vitamin E, garlic, you know, white willow bark, boswellia. These things can thin the blood out. Even curcumin in high dosages and even omega-3 in super high dosages can thin the blood a little bit too much sometimes. So, you know, do a little case history with them and see what you can find out. But, you know, a visit to the primary care physician is probably not a bad idea.
Okay, very good. Good morning, Doc Hall. Good to hear you in here this morning.
Good morning. I'm doing wonderful, Bob. Thanks for asking.
All right. All right. Dr. Lange, enjoy your anniversary,
All
please.
right, Bob. Thanks for the reminder. You're the man.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good day.
All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors, Dr. Richard Hall and myself, Dr. Michael Lange. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. We're broadcasting from Salem Media here in Tampa Bay, right across from the airport. If you got a question, give us a call. 1-877-969-8600. That's 1-877-969-8600. We're coast to coast, live on a variety of radio stations throughout the country. And a lot of you, I got to chime in Arizona. I got to tell you, you guys and gals in Arizona, and you guys are really in tune with nutrition. We get a lot of orders from the Phoenix area, from the Tulsa area, from all the cities in Arizona. I know we're on some stations in Arizona, so that's probably why. But, I always say most of our orders come from Florida, no doubt, but Arizona is probably close second. California is a lot. Tennessee's a lot too. We don't get that many orders from Mississippi and Louisiana. Come on, guys, what's up with you? Louisiana and Mississippi are the most obese states out there. You guys need to follow my diet and follow Dr. Hall's advice and exercise a little more and eat properly. All right, we're getting ready to take the next call. Remember, the Fortifeye Next Gen Zinc-Free Macula Defense was released for the first time last week. It's an amazing product, okay? And that's going to be our flagship for macular degeneration here. But we're running a deal on our Fortifeye Current Macular Defense, zinc-free macular defense and the regular macular defense. It's $57 everywhere in the country. If you look at Fortifeye Macular Defense or Fortifeye Zinc-Free Macular Defense on Amazon or any site, $57. However, at fortifeye.com right now, it's $39.90. Is that right, Dr. Hall?
That's correct. $39.90.
Yep. So $39.90 for a time-tested macular degeneration supplement that can be used as a multivitamin as well. So a great multivitamin. We'll expand on that. So that's our Fortifeye Macular Defense and Zinc-Free Macular Defense. There's 90 tablets in there, and it's right now $39.90. So check it out. Also, we're running a great deal on our Fortifeye Super Omega anytime you buy something. So if you get that deal on the Fortifeye Macular Defense, when you're at checkout, at the end of checkout, you'll see these little kind of pop-ups at the end with some deals on them. You'll be able to get Fortifeye Super Omega for only $20. That's a $10 savings. So anytime you buy anything, you have that option to get Super Omega for $20. So take advantage of that. All right, we're getting loaded up. Let's go to Doug in Sarasota. Doug, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Dr. Lange, how's your day going?
Fabulous.
By the way, your former caller is correct there. Don't forget the anniversaries.
No, that would not be a good thing. We got married. Tammy and I got married purposely on August 8th. She said, because I can remember that 8/8, right? Now you got to ask me the year. That would be a good question.
Yeah, well, if you do, I got a doghouse here. You're more welcome to stay in there for a while. So, but anyway, it's as you know, I like to race motocross, and I have a question about your Fortifeye Fit, right?
Right.
I've been trying to introduce this to a lot of the other racers and the other athletes, friends of mine who compete in other sports, and I'm because I use it religiously. It's amazing stuff, especially mix a little super protein in it after a workout and then pound it down, go for a walk. It's amazing. But I'm getting a little bit of pushback on the amount of sugar in it. And I've been trying to tell them, say, listen, you need that sugar in there as a conduit, right, to help transport all that nutrition, into your system. And perhaps you can help me explain that better to them as to the reason why that's in there and how beneficial it is.
You bring up a really valid question. I'm going to let Doc Hall chime in a minute also. Our new Fortifeye Fit Pro, just because of people like this, we're actually taking the sugar out and the carbs out. And so after you work out, you can add some pomegranate juice or apple juice or something like that to get the sugar, believe it or not. But that's going to make a lot of people happy that are on this bandwagon that think carbs are bad and sugar is bad. Because believe it or not, after you race a moto and motocross, or after out there practicing at the track, motocross is the second most grueling sport to soccer out there. And you're going through, your muscles are going through a lot of havoc. Well, the sugar actually replenishes muscle glycogen. Now, that's organic cane sugar, which is very expensive. It replenishes muscle glycogen. It helps funnel the branched chain amino acids, the essential amino acids, everything that's in it to the muscles much quicker. It helps you recover much quicker. Now, remember,
Right.
sugar or glucose plus oxygen produces ATP, adenosine triphosphate, in the mitochondria. And if you don't have any carbs in your system or any sugar, you remember carbs convert to sugar, then you don't have much energy. So what happens is your body's not only in ketogenic, ketosis, it goes into glucogenesis, and it starts to break down protein and ultimately break down your muscle to get ATP, to get glucose. You can't survive without glucose. And that's why a lot of people that are in the ketogenic diet and they're, really loyal and that's all they're doing and no carbs, they're pretty skinny and most of them aren't that strong. That's why they refeed. So that's why it's important, once or twice a week to eat carbohydrates when you're on the ketogenic diet. I don't love that diet because I see too many people that can't convert fat to energy and their blood sugar drops and they pass out. God forbid they pass out when they're driving the car and they get in an accident and they die. So I don't like that diet. Once again, a diet consistent with the Mediterranean diet, or better yet, the Lange Survival Diet. It's low in carbs, all right, but there are carbohydrates in it. Very low in sugar as well. But sugar can be beneficial. And Doc's kind of an icon in this industry. Doc, you want to expand on that?
Yeah, as you know, Dr. Lange, I'm not a big fan of the keto diets and like that, because that's exactly what they are. They're a diet. It's a short-term fix, and it's not a lifestyle change. And that's what you and I preach all the time. And that's when I see patients every day. That's what I tell them, is I'm not putting them on a diet. I'm putting them on a lifestyle change. And that's what you have to look at. But I want to go back and I want to just readdress this about the little amount of sugar that's in our fit.
7 grams. 7 grams.
7 grams. That was purposely put in there just for, as Dr. Lange explained. We could have very well kept it out, to be honest with you, but it was a nutrient that we needed in there. And a lot of people just get paranoid now about, little bits of sugar, little bits of carbohydrates and like that. Folks, carbohydrates are not the enemy here. Bad carbohydrates are, the cakes and pies and cookies and that kind of stuff. But your body needs a certain amount of sugars, just like Dr. Lange said. After a workout, I don't care if you're in the gym on motocross or whatever you're doing, your body needs to recover and reload. And part of that, it's looking for 3 things right after a workout. Okay, hydration, water, okay, and sugar, carbohydrates, and protein. And that's what we preach all the time, and it works. It works as you find out that it works for you. And our new Fit Pro that's coming out is, as Dr. Lange said, we just dropped the sugar right out of that, and we could have on the first one, but there was a need for it. And now if you need that sugar, and I suggest that after a workout, you can add a little bit, as Dr. Lange said, apple juice or something like that to it. But, the enemy is not the carbohydrates. We need that. I see people all the time. They're on a low carb diet or a no carb diet, a keto diet, and they come in and they say, Dr. Hall, what can you do for this brain fog I have? I'm just not myself. And I say, well, when you eat carbs, how does that change? Oh, yeah, it does. Well, there's your difference right there.
Yep,
well, I'll probably stick with the one with the sugar just for the pure convenience of it, right?
Yeah,
and because it's convenient, it's easy, and it's well thought out, obviously. And quite frankly, Dr. Lange, if anybody understands the rigors of motocross, it's you. So between motos, what I do is I put one of these down, boom. And by the time this next moto comes around, I'm ready to go. And my fellow competitors, the older guys such as us, they always ask me, how do you have so much energy? And I said, stop eating crap. You stop eating crap,
Amen.
And also mixed in with the super protein, the vanilla protein, it's fabulous and it's easy. I love the convenience of it, and it's a great way to recover. And I feel so much better when I use it. So don't stop making the one with the sugar. I mean, that's a personal preference because, like I said, it's easy, convenient, and everything in there is in perfect formula. So you put it down, boom, easy peasy. So that's how I feel about that. But I do have a question for you about the Fortifeye Eye, the Super Omega 3 fish oil. The label says take 2, right? You know me. I train 5 or 6 days, 5 days a week. I train hard. Would it be? I take it for the eyes. Yes, an older guy, I like it for the eyes. But there's a lot of other benefits in there other than just your eyes. Would it behoove me to take 4 a day, right, at the level I train, or is 2 just fine?
Yeah, I think how much do you weigh?
190 pounds.
Yeah, so the studies that we did, all the blood studies, and we did it on a lot of world-class athletes as well as some, people that aren't athletes, and we saw that we could get the omega index over 8%, actually between 9 and 11% with 2 a day, as long as you weighed less than 200 pounds. So 2 a day of the Fortifeye Super Omega is probably all you need. Now, if you had hypertriglyceridemia, if you were over 200 pounds, you'd go to the Super Omega Max 2 a day. But I think that might be
Right.
just overkill. I mean, you're pretty lean. You're in pretty good shape. I think 2 a day is all you need. I don't think in this case more is better.
That's fine. Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
All right, Doug.
And well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And hey, best of luck with your program. And I'll let you know the progress if you'd like.
Awesome. Yes, I would. You take care. Good luck out there.
Yes, sir.
We want a national championship very soon.
Fair enough. All right.
All right.
I'll deliver for you.
Take
All
care,
righty,
Doug.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I used to race competitive motocross years ago and had a bad accident, broke my neck, broke my back, and broke my right leg in 5 places. That's why I limp a little bit, and that's why I race cars now. I can still bicycle, though. I can bike pretty, most of the time okay, but sometimes you see me limping a little bit because I do have a little bit of pain. That's one of the reasons that drives me to developing things that have anti-inflammatory properties, like our new next-gen curcumin. When you combine that with our Super Omega, we call that Omega Relief. That really helps me go up and down the steps, helps reduce my pain. So there is a method to my madness. All right, let's go back to the phones. We're going to, I think, Ray in Clearwater. Ray, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Thanks for taking my call. I was diagnosed with central retinal vein occlusion back in 2018. And for 2 years, I was taking shots of Avastin. And then the lens was put in the eye. And then in October of 2020, I started Eylea.
Right.
And that's where I stand now. It's improved slightly.
Right. So, Ray, what you have to do is obviously find the underlying etiology. Why did you have the CRVO? And for people that are out there listening, the CRVO stands for central retinal vein occlusion. That's when a major vein in your eye gets blocked and it causes it to burst, and then you have bleeding in the eye. And you have different types of branch vein occlusions or artery occlusions as well. And you got to find the underlying etiology. And usually it's high blood pressure. Did you have high blood pressure?
Yes.
Yeah. So high blood pressure and diabetes are the 2 culprits of it. So you have to try to get your blood pressure to be as normal as possible. And obviously by following your directions of your doctor, weight management, eating the right foods, avoiding the wrong foods. I mean, if you listen to this program, you kind of get a gist of what you should be doing. It's just following it sometimes is a little more difficult. And you don't want it to happen to the other eye. So seeing your retina specialist, your local optometrist per their instructions is very important. You have to take a very strong preventative approach so it doesn't occur in the other eye. The Avastin injection and the Eylea injections have what we call anti-VEGF activity. They stop the irregular blood vessels from growing, which is called neovascularization. And oftentimes when you have a vein occlusion, you grow these collateral arteries, right, to try to bring blood flow and oxygen nutrients to the retina, and those can break and leak and cause a lot of swelling. And these injections are a godsend at helping reduce the swelling. In the olden days, which weren't too long ago, we used to zap those bleeders with lasers, and that destroyed the retina. So you actually left seeing worse than you came in. And that wasn't a good thing. It usually ticked a lot of people off. So I really felt for retina specialists 10, 15 years ago. But with the advent of the new anti-VEGF injections and the technology is getting better and better, and I'm going to plant seed for everybody out there. Nobody likes a shot in their eye. There are some drops now that are pending approval that will do very similar fashion to the injections. So think about it. We might have an eye drop that we can use that has the same benefits of the injections. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. And once again, Ray, continue to follow up with your retina specialist. And let me ask you this: how much do you weigh right now?
180,
Yeah, that's not bad unless you're only 3 feet tall. How tall are you?
6 feet.
Oh yeah, yeah. So so that's good, good. So most of the people would call it, they'd say they're 350 pounds and they're 5'5", and so I'd say they got to lose weight. So it doesn't sound to me you got to lose weight. So do the things we talk about in this program. Follow your doctor. Nothing wrong with a little prayer too.
Yeah, really. My doctor has told me that there's been some stem cell research
Right?
going on about this.
Right. There's a lot of stem cell research ongoing, and we use stem cells at the Lange Eye Institute, but more for the cornea. All right. We use amniotic membranes, and there are stem cells that they've implanted into the macular region. And, the stem cell research, in my opinion, hasn't come along as great as I would like. But now, with the advent of, AI, automatic intelligence, I think we're going to be going, 25 years into the future every year here very soon. So how old are you?
82.
You got another 25 years ahead of you. So
Right.
we're going to see some really fantastic technology available for you in the not so distant future. So just keep the faith.
Sounds awfully good.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Ray.
Thank you, doctor.
All right. Take care. All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. Dr. Richard Hall and myself, Dr. Michael Lange. Give us a call at 1-877-969-8600, 1-877-969-8600. And Doc Hall, you see this on a daily basis, how I walk out with a patient that might have macular degeneration, have a vein occlusion, and they may not be that overweight, but they can pinch a lot more than an inch. I bring them out to you, introduce you to them, and say, let's help this patient lose, 15, 20 pounds. And that's a daily activity there, which is really benefiting a lot of patients, isn't it?
Absolutely. Excuse me. And Dr. Lange, as you always say, the best thing you can do for your body is to get yourself at your ideal body weight. And and I tell this to people every day, and you hear me telling it to folks out in the hallway, Dr. Lange, as you pass by, that every pound that you're overweight creates 4 pounds of pressure on your joints. So when your hips are hurting, your knees are hurting, your ankles are hurting, that's the reason why, because you've added all that extra pressure. So if you're 50 pounds overweight, which sometimes people think, 50 pounds, I can lose that, no big deal. And I just look at them and say, okay, so lose it, let's do it. But that creates another 200 pounds of pressure on your joints. No wonder they're sore. No wonder they're hurting. Okay. And the numbers change when we talk about your feet. It's 8 pounds of pressure. So, when you go home at night and, oh boy, my dogs are barking, my feet are really hurting tonight, well, if you're overweight, that's 8 pounds of added pressure per pound now, per pound. So again, if you're 50 pounds overweight, that's 400 pounds of pressure on your feet, so no wonder it's hurting. Dr. Lange, I do want to go back to one little thing too that you mentioned in the early part of the show about our macular defense formula. And I want folks to know, too, that it's not just macular defense. I use this formula every single day as a good multivitamin base. And as you know, I firmly believe in everybody taking a multivitamin because it just covers the bases. Sometimes we think we're eating, better than what we are. And, through exercise and stress and different things in our life, it's burning up some of those vitamins. And so we want a good base, and the macular defense formula is just, the best. It really is. And then you throw in, that it's good for the eye. There's a whole eye matrix in there too for eye health and eye nutrition. And so I just wanted to throw that in there. And at $39.90 a bottle, you just can't beat that. You just can't. I mean, it's fantastic. And I see my patients really taking to it and coming back and reporting nothing but good things. And so I highly suggest that to everyone.
And that's a 3-month supply too, folks. So that's one a day.
Absolutely.
It's a 3-month supply. If you have macular degeneration, you're supposed to take 3 a day though. So Fortifeye Macular Defense, remember it's only $39.90 at fortifeye.com. So check it out on the website, fortifeye.com, Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. Let me give you the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins. I'm going to give it to you twice. Write it down, get a pen, piece of paper. 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. I know we get a lot of people on hold. I'm getting ready to go to David in just a second. Just stay tuned. I want to just get one thing off my plate here really quick. The new Fortifeye Fit Pro, I'm holding up that prototype. Once again, we added some things to this that sets it apart from a lot of things in the industry. We are constantly doing research, going to conferences, learning the latest of the latest. And there's a nutrient called HMB that we became fascinated with. Well, there's studies out there that show when you add vitamin D to HMB, it enhances muscle strength, muscular, physical functionality, even for people that aren't exercising. So those of you that don't want to exercise, if you take this HMB with vitamin D, it's amazing how it works. Now, HMB also goes well with creatine. And so the studies indicate that increases strength and performance and anaerobic performance, body composition, increases muscle, and loses fat when you use HMB with creatine. So now you see HMB with vitamin D and HMB with creatine. Now, here's the kicker. HMB and whey protein. They've studied that. The combination improves recovery over whey protein alone. It enhances athletic performance. So we're taking that HMB, we're adding vitamin D, we already have the creatine, and we're adding whey protein to the new Fortifeye Fit Pro. And then finally, we're adding something called Peak ATP. Peak ATP is a clinically validated form of ATP. It provides functional energy and potentiates the role of ATP, that's adenosine triphosphate, in your mitochondria. So it helps produce clean energy. Studies have shown it increases exercise performance, increases muscle strength, power, decreases fatigue, and increases muscle size in everybody in the studies. So these are some of the new nutrients that we're putting in the Fortifeye Fit Pro. You still got to wait. I'm going to try to release it for Halloween. All right, we're going to the phones. David's been waiting for a long time. David in the Villages, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Hey, Doc, two quick questions. First of all, I love the show. Two quick questions. One's email address I can use to send you some information.
Yep, so it's idude92 at iCloud.com. I'm going to spell it. EYE, like your I, dude, like hey dude, DUDE, so EYEDUDE 92 at iCloud.com. And that's the letter I, cloud.com.
Got it. All right. And I'm 6'2", 5'8", 260 pounds. I have 10 stents in my heart. Grossly, obviously, obesely overweight, morbidly overweight. Can I see you for nutritional guidance?
Yeah. So have I seen you yet as a patient or anything?
Not yet.
Yeah, so what I would recommend is set up an appointment to come in just for an eye exam, and we'll run a test called an Optomap on you, the Optomap California. This is one of the best general health screenings because we can look and see if there's any plaque in your veins, your arteries, your capillaries. We can look under the retina to see if there's any blockage in that. And an eye exam can be one of the best forms of prevention. We can see whether or not high blood pressure is affecting you, whether or not you're a potential candidate for diabetes, all through the eye exam. And then I will talk to you about nutrition. But then what I'll do, and I'll get the ball rolling. We'll walk out and I'll introduce you to Dr. Hall, and then he'll take the ball from there. It's free, no charge for these nutritional consultations. And we'll go over everything with you in detail, put you on an appropriate plan to turn you into a lean, mean fighting machine. So you hopefully don't have to get any more stents and live, a long, healthy life, another 20, 30 years.
That sounds good. All right. Again, and it's iDude92 at iCloud.com.
Right. And 62 is young. Let me tell you, in the Villages, you're like almost in diaper material. So 62 is young.
you that's true. All right, Doc. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
All right, David. All right, we're getting ready to take another call. Give us a call at 1-877-969-8600, 877-969-8600. Also, I want to mention our Fortifeye Collagen Plus is almost out. We still have enough, but it's going to be replaced with something we've been working on called Fortifeye Rejuvenate. Fortifeye Rejuvenate is going to revolutionize the beauty industry from inside out. It's going to help joint pain, ligament and tendon, hair, nail, and skin. The skin is the big thing, all right? 62, I'm 61. We want to look 40, right? So, or we want to stay looking 60. And this is going to help. It's based on a lot of evidence and a lot of studies. And we're going to talk more about Fortifeye Rejuvenate down the road. All right, we've got Steve waiting patiently. Steve, good morning.
Did David say he had 10 stents?
Yes.
Okay, usually people that have that many have a problem with what's called restenosis. In other words, the arteries, after they're opened, are closed back up again. There's a drug, it's a simple NSAID. It's just like aspirin or ibuprofen or Voltaren. It's called Sulindac. It's made by Merck, or it was originally made by Merck. And it's very good at preventing restenosis. So have him look up Sulindac, Sulindac, and then the other keyword would be restenosis.
Now, you
And
know,
I'm not,
Steve,
yeah, no, I want, yeah.
Steve, you know, I don't know. He might be just a very poor person. He might have said he only had 10 cents.
Oh, well, that would apply to me.
No, but we appreciate that feedback. I'm sure he's listening.
No, one other quick thing. Different organs have a different rate of mitosis. In other words, the ability of cells to reproduce in those organs. For instance, the stomach lining is very, very, it reproduces in like 3 hours. The lungs maybe in days. The eyes probably in weeks. So there's a tremendous difference in the mitotic rate of cells. Would stem cell issues be more effective in organs which have a higher mitotic rate because the cells naturally reproduce quicker and can use those cytokines quicker?
That's a great question. And you know what? I don't have an answer for that right now. Doc Hall, do you? Because I don't know that correct answer. And I don't want to expand on something that I'm not an expert in.
Dr. Lange, I got nothing.
Okay. We can look into that more, Steve, but you're Steve the genius, so you might find out more quickly than that. But that's a great question. It really is.
Okay, and one more thing real quick. Do you ever have any cases where you put people on vitamins for their eyes and other pathologies that they've had for years disappear, and their doctor actually notices it and calls you up and says, "Hey, what are you doing for my patient?" Have you ever, or the ego prevent them from doing that?
No, absolutely. That happens on a daily basis. That's why people come
Really?
from all over the country to see us. I mean, when we adjust their diet, adjust their supplements, get them off the typical sad American diet. So it's a combination, Steve. You know this. It's a combination, not only vitamins, it's a combination of the right nutrients, exercise, sleep, hydration, positive mind thought. I mean, all these things work very well, but we see people improve, general health improve, cholesterol come down, triglycerides come down, thyroid problems improve, all sorts of inflammatory conditions, arthritic symptoms, get better, autoimmune, like I said, collagen vascular diseases. So, it's certainly, like I always say, I preach this, God made a pretty good body if we give it the right fuel, It's just the right fuel most people are not giving to their body. So it's a synergistic effect doing all the things that we, talk about in this program.
Dr.
Okay,
Lange?
super.
Yep.
Dr. Lange?
Yes, sir.
I just want to add something here, if you will allow me, the second, for Steve. Steve, I see this every single day, and one of the ones that you can relate to here is Dr. Lange will put one of his patients on our Fortifeye Focus, obviously for their eyes. And then they'll make an appointment with me, and they'll come back maybe a few weeks later, and they'll say, Dr. Hall, my eyes are better. I honestly can see at a better level than what I was before. However, my elbows don't hurt anymore. My knees don't hurt as much. This is working, that's working. Could that have anything to do with the focus? Absolutely, because it's an anti-inflammatory. And when you have arthritis, bursitis, or any of those itises, you have inflammation in that joint area. And so when you take something like Focus, yes, it's great for the eyes. I take it every day. In fact, take it twice a day. And but it's an anti-inflammatory, so it works on other levels. So yes, Steve, we see that on so many levels every single day. We really do.
All right, Steve. Thanks for the call,
Okay.
my friend.
Happy anniversary.
All right. Have a good
Okay.
one. All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. If you'd like to see any of us at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, I'm going to give you the phone number twice. Get a pen and paper. Here it goes 352-753-4014. One more time. Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida. 352-753-4014. All right. Elizabeth and Lutz has been waiting for about 15 minutes. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. This has been a fascinating program. I just caught on to it. So
Awesome.
thank you very much for doing what you do. I would like to find out. I have a friend who she had on both eyes had the lenses replaced,
Right.
and yet she still needs to use readers. And I thought, wow, I thought that today's surgeries fixed everything. But she said no, and then she has to go in for these adjustments and on. And I just thought this is something else. So I just wanted to find out about that. And what would you know about that?
So I'm an expert in this area. So once again, if the human crystalline lens gets cloudy, that's called a cataract. It has to be removed. When it's removed, they place an implant right behind your pupil, and the implant usually gives you the power to see clearly in the distance. So they can correct for the astigmatism, give you really good distance vision. But remember, this implant isn't connected to the muscles that cause the lens to focus up close. So you can't see up close unless they do what's called monovision. One implant corrected for near, one for distance. I don't recommend that with implants permanently altering your vision like that unless you've tried contacts, to do that first. Or you can have a multifocal implant put in, and you have to pick and choose those patients very carefully to make sure they're really a good candidate, because a multifocal implant isn't good for everybody, and it is relatively expensive. Multifocal implants can range anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 on top of what Medicare covers. So some people don't want to spend that much money. They can buy a lot of reading glasses for $6,000 to $8,000. So if there's a will, there's a way. So with today's technology, you're absolutely correct. A good cataract surgeon can make you see in the distance and up close. It depends on how much money you want to spend.
Can you just have cataracts removed without having lenses replaced?
Well, that's in the olden days, that's what they used to do. And you see these people walking around with what we call cataract glasses. They're super thick glasses that magnify. You look like you have owl eyes. So that means you would be aphakic and you wouldn't have any power in the eyes. So you'd have to wear either a contact lens or glasses afterwards. So the implant, the typical, surgery now, they place an implant, and it can take, 5 minutes to do this procedure with a competent cataract surgeon. So they take the cataract out and slide an implant in place, and voila, you're good to go.
Wow. Okay, it's good to know because she didn't even seem to have a clue. Like they didn't explain any of that to her in
Yeah,
advance.
that can happen a lot. And, that's what we pride ourselves on, educating the patients. So most of our patients, I think, are pretty happy that we fully educate them.
Okay, and can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Okay, my right eye has always been 20/40.
Mm-hmm.
My left eye has always been 20/20. And I put my hand up to my right eye the other day and just looked with my left eye, and I'll tell you what, it's really deteriorated. Is the supplements that you use good for that?
Well, I think realistically, it's time for you to get in to see your local optometrist or ophthalmologist. Get in, have your eyes dilated, or find somebody with an optomap. It's still a good idea to have your eyes dilated, but the optomap looks at the complete back of the retina, so nothing goes undetected. But yeah, there's a lot of things that can cause reduced vision. It could be as simple as a prescription change, glasses or contacts, but you never know. You could have a bleed in your retina. You could have a macula hole. You could have, macular degeneration, glaucoma. There's a whole host of things that could be going on. If you don't see your eye doctor, you don't know for sure, then they can counsel you on what nutritional supplements would be beneficial for you, or certainly just, cruise on down to the Lange Eye Institute. It's not that bad on the interstate from where you live, and we'll take care of you.
I'm thinking about doing that. I've got your numbers and everything. So, and your website is?
Well, go drmichaellange.com. Just drmichaellange.com. That's the simplest one.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, and God bless you for what you're doing.
Bye-bye. All right, we got about 15 seconds to ask Rose a question. Rose, good morning. You got to talk really quick.
Good morning. Hey, I was in the other day on my birthday and all, and I'm just so happy that you keep up with the technology and everything that you do. And we were talking about saffron. Do you
Right.
remember that? And you did you say you added it to one of your supplements?
Right. Saffron is in our new next-gen zinc-free macular defense. And what we're going to do, I have to expand on that more next week, Rose. Thanks for the call, but we're out of time. Doc Hall, you got about 18 seconds.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. We appreciate you so much. And listen, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and we're going to see you next week.
Thanks, Doc. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and listening to Ask the Doctor. Check us out on the web at Fortifeye.com. Fortifeye.com. With that, have a great Saturday. God bless you. God bless America.